All right, y'all. It's time for me to lock in. So today I posted a copy of Booker T. Washington's book, The Story of My Life and Work from 1900, right? Like, y'all, okay? And somebody commented and she was like, I would love to hear what's in this book if slash when you read it. And I was like, oh my goodness, the way this just clocked my tea. Because I was literally just thinking to myself, my New Year's resolution is that I have to actually read these books. I keep going out and buying these old historical books and then not actually reading them. And I always have the excuse of, oh, well, I'm really busy, which is true. But I managed to find time to scroll on my phone way more than I should. And I managed to find time to watch baddies and upload those reviews every week. So realistically, I can find the time to get through these books. So here I am with another reading from Negro Myths from the Georgia coast. I'm going to get through this book and then I'm going to start on the next one. And that is going to be that. This is myth number 34, the Devil and May Belle. The devil, him can take all sort of shapes to carry out him plans and fool people. Sometime he make himself into a wolf to kill your sheep. Another time he take the shape of an alligator to worry your duck and goose. Then he look like a white deer and he fly through the woods without making no noise to scare people who walk along the big road. Then he come, same look a owl, and he holler down your chimney and he terrify everybody when them turn the flour in the pot. Then when you sick, he go inside of you like a worm and he give you all sort of misery. Then again, he can take the shape of a man and pass himself off for great gentlemen along the ladies. There ain't nothing that the devil can't do if he make up his mind to him. One time, there was a very pretty young woman named May Belle. Him father been a rich, and he dressed him up to the notch, and he give him a saddle horse to ride, and carriage to drive, and plenty of servants to wait on him, and every good victual to eat, and a rocking chair to sit in, and an organ to play on top of. All the young men in the county been a courting him, and try to marry him. One day, one strange man come to visit him. He dressed up better than all them other gentlemen. He have on a new leather hat which shine like a glass, and he have a side whisker comb so nice, and glove on his hands and new clothes, and he drive up in his fine carriage with 4 horses, and the driver have his keen lash which pop so clear you could hear him way down the road. The young lady take with him right off. He have such good manners, and he talks so polite, and he acts so rich. Everybody give way to him, and he outshine all them other buckras who have been courting the gal, and he marry him before the week out. And he take him in his carriage, and he drive him off to him house. That house been the distance part of the country, built on a hill. Nobody been living close. He been the finest house in the whole settlement. He have piazza all round and round, and inside everything looked very nice and pretty. When he drive up to the step, the devil, who been the husband, hand the bride in the parlor and sit him in one rocking chair and tell him the whole house belongs to him and he must make himself satisfied and enjoy himself. Everything going very well for some time, and the young wife have everything called for. One morning, when the husband left the house to tend to his business and his wife been a rambling about the room, he find one key done hang up by itself. He wonder what key that and what door it open. He take him and he try one lock after another, but the key won't fit. Finally, he going to, I think that says give up, I guess. And he see one door up there with a big lock. He put the key to the hole and he unlocked the door. And when he opened up, lo and behold, he see in the closet a tree that says Nung humans done hang up along them neck and them been all dead. The teen scared the girl so bad she scarcely had time to shut the door and lock him again. But after a while, he managed to do that, and then he make haste and hang the key where he been finding them. The bride feared to ask her husband about the thing. All the joy going. She want to get away, but she don't know how to do him. He ain't had nobody to trust to send to her father and brother to come and take him away. Her husband been getting them one nice riding horse to take him pleasure every morning and evening. The devil so busy, his wife have to ride by herself. The poor girl ain't say nothing to nobody about what he done seen in the closet there, Garrett. He hide his feeling, but he very unsatisfied in his mind. The next morning, when he been taking a ride, soon as he get out of hearing, he began to cry and pity himself and say he wish he been back to his father's house and talk his mind that he feared his husband. When he get tired along, I'm gonna kill him and hang him along the other humans where they're in the closet, done Garrett. Him don't know the horse, which him done ride, been hearing them, and to notice what him done say. All of a other sudden, the horse opened his mouth and he asked his missus, and you know who you married to? Your husband there, the devil. And when he satisfied along you, he gonna vex with you and kill you same like he done killed them other wife and he been have before he bring you here. The poor human that scared her, ready to fall off. He most faint away. His heart done flutter in his breast. All his strength give way. He cried, he give up to loss. Then he begged the horse to pity him and help him and take him back to his family. The horse feels sorry for him and he promised to try and save him, but he tell him to keep his mouth shut and make no racket about the thing. More than that, he tell him the next morning when he come for a ride, he must fetch in his pocket 4 big nails which there on the mantelpiece in the devil room, and them will help him to get away. The poor human thank him very much and them going back and nobody been knowing about this plan. The next morning when the devil, which been him husband, left the house and going to mind his business, his wife find a nail, this is the horse been saying, and he put him in his pocket. Then he called him riding horse, same like he ever done, and he going down the road to ride. Soon as he get out of the side of the house, the good horse, he mend his pace, and before the middle of the day, he tell the missus to drop one of them nails in the road. The missus did drop him, and right off, one big bank of sand rise up clean across the road so nobody could drive over. When night come on them, drop another nail. Middle of the night, another. And as the sun done rise, them drop the last one. Every time the nail drop, the big bank of sand rise up and shut up the road. The horse runs so fast he reached the human father house by breakfast time in the morning. His family astonished to see him, and when he done tell the family will make him come back, his father and his brother get them gun to shoot the devil if he come to take the girl back. When the devil find out, say his wife ain't come back from a ride, he began to suspicion something. And after dinner, he get in his carriage to hunt his wife. He take the big road and he make a driver put the lick to the horse, but he can't see nor hear nothing about his wife. Bimby, he come on top of the first bank. I think that means when. When he come on top of the first bank, there's sand in the road, and then him been knowing right off what happened. He make his horse gravel through, and then he drive straight for his father-in-law house. He blow his hot breath behind the horse, and he make him run like the wind. He had to stop to get through them other banks of sand with the other nails been making, and so he lost his time and never did overtake his wife. When he turned in the avenue which leads to his father's house, he see his wife and all his family there, and the piazza done watched the road. Her father-in-law and her brother-in-law have a gun in them hand. The devil, him no fear no gun, and he drive right up and he asks his wife what make him run away. Before he can answer, he tell him to get right in the carriage and go back home along him. His wife say he don't want, and he hold on to his father. Then the devil get very vexed and say him gonna carry him anyhow. With that, he light out of the carriage and make for the piazza to grab his wife. His father and his brother tell him to stand back and let the girl alone. The devil wasn't hearing them, and as he rides the step, the father and the brother and the non-human shoot the devil long buckshot. The shot drop off of him, don't hurt him, and he come right on. Just as he been going to take the girl, he changed his mind, and he turned to his old self with his forky tail and his claw and his bat wing and his owl eyes, and he blow fire out of his mouth, and he burned up his wife and him father and him mother and him brother and the house and everything were there in them. Not a thing left to show where the house been. And he burned up the horse too, which been helping his wife to run away. Then he changed back to the shape of a man just as before, and he get in him carriage and he drive back to him house same like nothing been happening. The devil, added Daddy Cudjoe as he concluded this story, this was thing in this world and the next. Me never gonna have nothing to do along him. Me feared him was the rattlesnake, and that thing Where them called hell, me never wanna shum there. Go night, Now, I'm not gonna hold y'all. Your girl did not 100% understand that last paragraph, and I also don't know who Daddy Cut Joe is. I guess the person who was telling these stories to the person who was writing them down, okay? But I will say this from what I gather from this story, okay? Mind y'all, I'm not religious or anything, right? But something I say all the time, and I mean, I gotta tweak it a little to fit this, right? Something I say all the time is that people who have nothing to lose will lose everything for you. And actually, I don't think that needs to be tweaked at all, because that's actually kind of perfect for this situation. You got to be careful who you hang around. And unfortunately, this was their family member who got them caught up in this. But the unfortunate reality again is that people will get into some shit and then pull you into it, and suddenly you getting burned up by the devil too. Like, huh? Like, how did I get in the mix? This story is unfortunate because I don't think anybody in the story did anything wrong. Like, the girl met a guy who was handsome, he had money, and he was, very charismatic, right? Like they said, when the devil impersonated a handsome man, he courted all the ladies. He was, had a good personality, and of course she's attracted to that. It wasn't even like she was being shallow. It's not like, oh, he ugly, but he got money. So yeah, okay, right? No, she wasn't even being shallow. She met a dude she liked and married him. And then she found out he was the damn devil. So of course she went home to her family. And of course her family defended her. Of course, if my sister came to my house right now and was like, turns out my husband is the devil, then we gonna get burnt up together. Unfortunately, it is what it is. And you know what I think another thing that plays into this, right? Sometimes you gotta stand on big business. Even if you're gonna get burned up, you gotta stand on what is right. Because hell no, I'm not finna just be like, okay, devil, take my sister, so I'm good. Hell no, bitch, we finna get to knucking and bucking, and if we get burnt up, then we get burnt up. Period. Because what you thought this was? I just sat here and I just, I have a whole different way of looking at this now. Because initially I said, oh, some people will get you into some stuff and mess your whole life up. And that is true, right? That is definitely true. But from the other perspective, it's honestly, nobody in this situation was wrong. And realistically, if my sister knocked on my door right now, like I said, and said, oh, the devil is coming behind me, turns out my husband's the devil, I'm be like, okay, well, we finna, bitch, go freeze some ice cubes or something, and we about to throw down, because what, sometimes you gotta stand on business. And unfortunately, sometimes standing on business doesn't always end well. Sometimes standing for the right thing and doing the right thing is gonna blow up in your face, it's gonna burn you, but you gotta do it anyway. Side note, I noticed as I'm putting this video together and I'm looking back at the text that I was supposed to say young woman in the end, but I said human because I was like OOMAN. And then it just didn't click in my head. But in the beginning, I said young woman because it flowed and it was obvious, because it said, oh, she was a very pretty young woman, right? But then in the end, it was randomly placed. It just said, oh, the young woman. And I was like, that say human? What? Okay, so it was supposed to have said young woman. It was saying something about, oh, the father, the brother, the young woman, whatever, right? That's the first thing. The second thing I wanted to point out, and I know I've mentioned this before, but I mean, it's been so long since I have done a segment on this, so I might as well mention it again, right? You notice how throughout this story, they call the wife he and his, right? They use male pronouns for the wife throughout the story. And I always think that's interesting, because there was this Nigerian guy I knew, he was Igbo. I don't know if this is true of other Nigerian languages as well, but he stayed calling women he and him. He stayed calling men she and her. And then I was like, is Igbo gendered? And apparently it's not. So Igbo is not a gendered language, which is why when I assume they learn English and suddenly you're referring to women as one thing and men as another, oh, she, her versus he, him, or whatever, right? It kind of just gets jumbled up in some people's heads, right? So it's interesting to see that in this book, because it clearly shows the influences that different West African languages had on the development of AAVE, right? Because at this point, we don't do that anymore. We, anybody speaking AAVE is using gendered language, right? But at that point, not hundreds of years ago, but 100 and something years ago, they were still, with a lot more of the West African influences on the language, and that is interesting to see.